Hi, I'm Bee from Bee by the Sea Creates, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a flower. I don't know what kind of flower you'd call it, but it should look like this when we finished. Normally I would do it using one small circle and then one big circle. I have fabric transfer pens that come off with water, so it's really easy for me to use, and then rub this out and you don't see it. But as you can see, I hope, if you're doing it using pencil, you can see the lines. So we're going to do it using some dashes, which mean that you can't see the lines. Right, so what we're going to do first is draw a little circle in the middle, which is going to be filled with French knots. And then around the outside, I'm going to do some little dashes, which we'll use to place our big petals. And then we'll see that they don't show. So they're going to be in a rough circle shape. Oh dear, that one's a bit short. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is some French knots in the middle, and I'm going to use a slightly darker colour for that one. So we're going to fill this middle circle with French knots. So if you haven't watched my French knot tutorial, it's really simple. You're going to come up, pull your thread tight, loop your needle around it, and then pop it back in a hole next to it. If you go down in the same hole, your thread will just pop straight back through. So I'm going to do a few of those. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up on one end of those little dashes that I've made and come back down into the middle. And then my next, rather than carrying on straight along, I'm going to come up a little bit higher for that middle one and come back down into the middle. And then the other one, and the third one, is going to be at the end of that little dash. So we've covered up the little dash and we've got this that looks like a little petal. And then I'm going to keep doing that the whole way around. So on the end, down into the middle, longer, down into the middle, and the other end, down into the middle. So there's my flower done. So I'm just going to mark out carefully where I want my vines to be. And then I'm going to use my split back stitch because that's my favourite one to use. You can use stem stitch, back stitch, split stitch, whatever you fancy. One of the reasons I like the split back stitch so much is that when I come to a piece like this where I'm curving it, I can kind of manipulate the thread a bit better, so I can gently pull it up as I'm stitching it back in the middle, and I just feel like it gives a really nice curve. Finish that off. So then I'm just going to come in and do some little leaves using my lazy daisy stitch. So up, down next to it, make a loop. So I do have a whole tutorial on how to do the lazy daisy stitch if you haven't watched it already. But it's very simple and it looks really pretty. I'm going to mirror what I did on this side, just because I like it to kind of look symmetrical. If I had an even number of leaves, I'd put them in the same places, but because I've got an odd number, I kind of want them to be at opposite, if that makes sense. It's just my personal taste. So that's that bit. And then you can also go in and add some little buds with French knots again. So I'm just going to do that. Yeah, I like to put them in the little kind of points that I've created from the leaves, but you don't have to. There you go. So that is how to do, I really need to find out what type of flower it's called. It's just a flower with a little vine accent without leaving a big pencil mark that you can see. I hope you found that useful, and if you use this from my tutorial, then I would love to see it. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Be by the Sea Creates. Thank you very much.